Fingers crossed. I found my stream. That's awesome. So, hello there. Welcome. I hope I got this right now. So, I've been trying to make my live streams, the quality of my live streams a little bit more consistent. I don't really like using the phone for my live streams, but a better setup takes me like 1 hour. So if I have to, spend 1 hour setting up the live stream and then another hour moving everything around for my shorts, I lose 2 hours per day, and it's just not feasible. With I have a family and all that. So yeah. Therefore, if I can somehow find a compromise where I keep things where they are, that would be good. But it's a major challenge. Hey there, Arthritic. What's up, my man? Hope you're doing good. Okay, so. Of course, I also want to use this opportunity to practice a little bit. So I invite you to tune in with me, and we'll see how it goes. By the way, hopefully you can hear me. Are levels okay? That's kind of the thing here. I'm trying to make levels a bit better. So I think my spoken is good, and I hope my guitar is okay. I know there's a little bit of the room being heard, but I don't mind that. I think that's okay, because you're basically hearing the same thing as me. Slow down a little bit. It's always more fun if you can, I think it's more fun if you can nail the riffs with precision. And here I'm just warming up, but also I'm improvising. It takes a little bit of time for the brain to convert an idea into movement, right? So we need to give it a proper amount of time. Whoa, Philip, what's up? Big Bang Bubble of Fun. Is this live? My good? I don't know if it's my good, sir. It's live for sure. Some people think I'm AI, but I'm sorry. I wish I were, I guess. Things would be easier. I'm human. It's nice to be human, though. So focus is not that good on the guitar right now. Let's see. And now it's not good on my face. That's a problem as well. So let's just find a compromise there. Not that good of a compromise. Oh, that's right, Bing Baluba. Some people just have a loop there. That's cheating, man. That's just to cheat the system. YouTube should fix that, because it's not live streaming anymore. But I'm live. So you might have seen a similar riff if you followed my shorts. Everybody's saying, oh, that's like, you can't touch this. Like, oh, that's another one. What's up, typical PD? Doing good, PD. So I'm just warming up. I haven't played for the day yet. So if you've been at my live streams before, you know that it might start off playing wise more maybe rhythm based and not anything fancy, but then it can get really shreddy towards the end, and that's simply because I've had the chance to warm up. Can you do funk? You mean like something like this, right? This isn't a funky beat though. So let's see, maybe we can find a funkier beat. We have rhythm and blues here. So you're wondering, I'm just using my my drum machine here. This is what you're hearing. It's nothing too fancy, but it's more fun than a metronome, I think. So maybe we can find something funky. Oh yeah, baby! So this could be funky. Can you even hear this? I think maybe levels. Maybe some whoa on top of this, that'll be fun. extreme was that what you were asking about? Funky stuff? So if you're wondering what the heck I'm doing there, basically the notes are not super important when playing funk. It's rather the scratching, right? So we gotta be able to lightly touch our strings. So we're not fretting, we're not doing that, we're just lightly touching them. So they're muted. Then you can start practicing the scratching motions, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So just down, up, with the muted strings, right? And then once in a while, you can push the strings down. It doesn't matter where. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. So I also use a wah-wah, wah-wah. And in case you were wondering, yes, this is in response to extreme om. Oh, I did it funk. So I'm not something pre-recorded, in case anybody was thinking that. It's the scratching and the beat. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, so a lot of people are requesting songs. I'm really crappy at songs. I don't know any songs. I haven't played songs for 20 years. But this is fun. There's one I played. I don't remember, sorry. So yeah, you're also hearing the wah-wah pedal. So let me see, maybe I could show you a close-up of that just for fun. I think this should work. Let's see. So I'm gonna, maybe I could give you a view of the floor here. iPhone video capture. Yeah, there it is, fantastic. So I need something here. Let's see here. Okay, so this is a little bit improvised, so hopefully you can bear with me. But you can, hopefully you don't mind the shaking. Hopefully you're not vomiting right now because of the shaking. But I'm trying to show you what's going on with my feet here. So just a little bit of patience here and we'll get it done. This is the kind of thing I'd like to do more of, right? But if I have to tear down the entire setup with the live streaming, I can't do this very often. So again, this is what I'm trying to achieve here. But now you can see a bit more. That's cool. Everything is upside down, but can you live with that? Or would you want me to do it any other way? There's the wah-wah. Let me show you the wah-wah first, okay? Let's do this. So how would you want me? Yeah, well, you can't freaking see my face. My beautiful face, that's a problem. So how are we gonna do this? Is that okay? Should I move this around somehow? Is it better down here or somewhere? I'm just seeing what you guys are saying. Did you check my GMC account last time and indeed username is Twist? Oh, cool! And you found the comic. That's awesome, man. So those of you wondering, we used to have custom-made comics for our community. That's when we had a budget. And then everything went south and we couldn't afford it anymore. It was fun while it lasted. Okay. Well, that's maybe a little bit better. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. No, I'm not gonna do it. So, I got a really bad idea. Start cropping digitally, but that would. This is almost good enough. Let's see. Oh yeah, that'll do for now. No, that won't do for now. Let's do this. That'll do for now. Okay, so we're gonna sacrifice. I can do this maybe. Oh, now we're getting somewhere. So yeah, can you please play on the bridge? So let's try here. Yeah, smells like Tea Spirit. cool to get a follow-up on that, Sebastian. Okay, so I want to show you the funky stuff now with when you can see my foot. So you can see when I'm pushing the pedal down, you can hear the wah sound. So, if I could move a little bit closer and you would see me better. Okay, so slowly, yeah, that's a good analysis there. I'm mixing a little bit now because I love doing the bluesy stuff. So I just want to show you what I spoke about. So I explained you would lightly touch the strings to get that that kind of muted or muffled, scratchy sound. So you're not fretting. The strings should not be touching the fret wires. Instead, lightly touching, and we get that sound. So if I do the scratching, just down and up, while I move my foot. Now check out my foot here. That's when I get that famous Jimi Hendrix. What is That's fun. But it's more fun with a beat, right? So here we go. Scratch and float, yeah. Definitely the scratching. I'm not too familiar with the floating notion. This guitar, Hizariki, is a Fujigen Iliad standard, which is a work in progress in terms of scalloping. Now, to be honest with you, I'm not sure I'm going to finish this one because it's generating so many comments everywhere. It's like, oh, that's the ugliest freaking something. It's like, well, maybe I should keep it then. But it's very good because it really opened up this guitar for shredding as well. It had the pretty low vintage frets. So let's see here. Socks and sandals, pure dead energy. I like it. Pretty good. The guitar. Bought it like 10 or 15 years ago. It's not a super high-end guitar. Maybe like, I think now the prices are so high, it's probably $800 or $900. I think I bought it for $600 or $700. Oh, okay. So yeah. I call that ghost strumming, the floating. I see what you mean. Yeah. So floating is above the strings. Yeah, exactly. You could. So you could obviously get the same effect, but without touching them and scratching. That's so true. But yeah, it gets more fun here. Okay, I wish I could be a bit smarter about this thing. Let's see here. maybe this way. I would love for you to see both the pedals and the listens better, maybe. And I'll make it a little bit smaller. See if I can do that. Yeah, this will do better, I think. Or maybe like this. Yeah. So you almost can see my face. That's pretty good. So the trick is not to lose the rhythm, right? So you're guaranteed that as long as you keep doing. So right now I think I'm doing 16th notes, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you don't stop doing that, then you won't lose yourself rhythmically, and you can improvise. Well, you can lose yourself anyway, but you can feel lost, but it won't really be heard if you keep going with steady 16th notes. Oh, slap. I'm not very good at that. I used to. No, I can't do that. So, thank you, Luke Young. Thank you so much. So, oh, we got Fred Hinkle here. Here's for Fred. It's Fred. Fred from Corn Country. There you go. So, let's see here. So we're gonna do, let's keep doing a little bit more. And I know that the more I do of this, the more I can kind of shift from playing rhythm to more lead based. So let's see if I can do that. It's gonna take some warming up, I think. It's hard. Okay, so here I've stopped doing the. It seems that if I want to go lead, it's harder for me to do the 16th notes or to do the constant strumming. So when I stopped doing that, I was able to do more lead stuff. But that also is more prone to basically losing yourself in the timing. So we'll do it some more, and you can see if you can spot or hear when I lose myself. A little bit there. And you can only see my freaking leg. That's a problem. Let's try. Oh no, you can hear. Wait, has the video frozen for me? Okay, no, it's better. Wait, let's try. With the fingers, you could do the same thing, right? But it gets hard when you want to pick. So maybe you're wondering about the scale here. So I'm just using I'm just visualizing the A minor pentatonic scale here on the 5th fret. But I don't restrict myself to only that. That's kind of the starting point. With this kind of music, when you're not playing to any harmony or anything, you can do what you want to. So I'm adding all these random notes here. I'm not really doing that. Only doing that. I'm doing just because it's easy, right? I can flatten my finger on 2 or 3 strings and move them around. Doesn't matter. So maybe stick a little bit to pentatonics. So these are chord shapes just from the pentatonic scale. They're strict. But then I can move them around and go outside. And adding these chromatics, right? So it's all like a pentatonic box, and then you add these in between notes. That's how you get fun. Yeah, exactly. I would describe this as funky guitar with the heavy blues influences. Let's do some more. This is fun. Can speed it up a little bit, see if that works. No, that didn't work. Let's also try a different beat there for fun. Whoa, it's grooving. I like it. Hope you can hear the beat. It's very hard not to do the mouth thing when you're doing this. Use some to strum your deep notes. Yeah, I could do a little bit of... Maybe, I'm not very good at that though. I messed up. Oh, and I dropped my pick. Things are going bad for me. One more time. There's a new pick. Here's what I'm using, by the way. Oh, come on. You can do this, camera. You can do this. You can do this. If I move my face away, maybe. Can you... Very good. There you have it. Jazz 3 Ultex. My current favorite pick. Wow. No, this is not Master of Puppets. This is funk. That wasn't Master of Puppets. Have a good one, Sebastian. Very cool to see an old-time GMCer. Twist, right? I think I remember you from the forum. Very cool stuff. Have a good one. See ya. Yeah. We were pioneers at GMC with live stream videos. That was before there was live stream on YouTube. Of course, kind of crappy quality, but it worked. Thank you, Rohit, for the kind words. So I just want to explain a little bit what I did here. No, Stephen, this is not pre-recorded. We don't do that stuff. So what I did was I basically took like any bar chord, like C major, whatever, and I just took the top strings, the top 4 strings. So if you know any bar chord, you just gotta think, okay, can I adapt the fingering and only play the thinnest top strings? Okay, so I did that. And then that's gonna be like your basis for those chords that I move around. But the good thing is when you do that, you tend to have at least one finger over, left over, which you can use for melodies. And that's what I did. So instead of playing like this, I moved to this voicing, and now I have the pinky. I can do. Steven, I'm from Stockholm, Sweden. How about you? Maybe we can have a little country shout out here. Where are you guys from? It's usually a very interesting mix, and we seem to be 200 now, so we should be all over the world, hopefully. Peace and love. What's up, my man? Denmark, snakker du dansk da? Trying to do Danish. New Zealand, there's a country I'd love to go to sometime. Tennessee, I'm guessing, from the USA. Manchester. Oh, from Stockholm, we're 2. Hur är läget? From Stockholm. Är det ditt namn? Or is that a location in Stockholm which I'm not aware of? Oh, I'm from Stockholm. I got it. Canada, awesome. Love to go to Canada. Okay, go to sleep, Steven. See you a bit later, man. You can check out my shorts later. Polska. From Poland. Awesome, man. Seattle. You come from the land of... From the city of that. Okay, Eddie, då kör jag. Spanish Moroccan, very cool. From the Netherlands. Very nice mix. Olá, desço do Brasil. Can't speak Portuguese. So I'm just going to say, como está? I bet you know that. California, the hidden part. Ja, vom Deutschland. Wie geht's? Ich bin ein Schwedisch, Leute. Stockholm, Sweden. Oh, Stockholm, Sweden. Aha. So I'm gonna now try the. Maybe I can show you. I need to get better at this stuff. So yeah, all this worked actually. So we have I have a 5-way switch installed on this guitar. Typically, on a Telecaster, since you only have 2 pickups, there's 1 and there's 2. You're gonna only have a 3-way switch. So what this switch does is, this is the regular first position, but in the second position, I get the phase cancel, and that's that's a very funky kind of sound. Let's try that. So you just heard me do this, right? That's using the regular bridge position. Now I'm gonna use that phase canceling position. And actually, this works better without the wah-wah. So let's try first without the wah-wah, the regular bridge position. Now with the phase canceling. Regular. Phase. Regular. Phase. So yeah, this is fun. Maybe we're done with the funk stuff now. I would like to get back to my high gain sound that I started out with.
softly.
Oh, it's a little. Tyler, doing good. What tuning are we going to? Oh, we're the same tuning currently. We could try some drop tuning or something. I'm just gonna see if I can manage the switch from funky wah-wah stuff to this. So let's change to something more metal-ish here. Oh yeah! Bad at that stuff, but I didn't really like this one. Let's try. Yeah, I made a little Volbeat-ish. Oh, this is cooler. I like this. This is heavier. Let's do. So I tune down to drop D. Ravi, I'm from Stockholm, Sweden. So there you have it. There's some drop D. I was into the mood doing that, so I'm just gonna move things back here a little bit and can keep doing some more. Pretty impressive for a country single coil pickup. So yeah, now we're getting into the riffing. So I'm just in drop D here. And I'm kind of using the D minor scale, but also a bit of the D blues kind of sounds. That's fun. You're playing with me, that's awesome. D minor, if you want to jam, it's just D minor. You can play your pentatonic position here on the 10th fret. Doesn't have to be as fancy, we can just use some like bluesy bending as well. So if you're wondering what I did there, I was just playing the D minor scale, but I was doing diatonic arpeggios within the scale of D minor. So in other words, playing arpeggio shapes that kind of fit within those scalar shapes. So if you've ever learned a scale like the D minor scale, you would know that it's on the high E string here on the 10th position, something like those 6 notes. There are more notes, but if we just take those 6, and if we don't play them like that, instead we skip every other note, we get an arpeggio here. So that's what I played with the wah-wah pedal. So instead of doing like 13, 12, 10, 13, 11, 10. Those are like 6 notes from the D minor scale. Instead of doing that, I'm doing 13, 10, and then next string 11. That's the arpeggio. And then I can keep doing that throughout all the boxes in D minor. And it gets really interesting if you kind of, that takes quite some time, of course, to learn and get comfortable with. So we're speaking at an advanced level here. When you master a bit of rhythm and a bit of soloing, and when you can start mixing them, that's to me when it gets really interesting, I think. Both practice-wise and musically, I would say. Cheers. And trying to go back is hard, but thank you, Lucas. So I think I got a little bit carried away, but there you got a cool example of how you can combine some rhythm and lead, and that's kind of my personal goal to bridge the gap between those more and more. And I would like to end up somewhere where there really is no difference between the lead work and the rhythm work, and it doesn't matter if it's the funk stuff we did earlier or this kind of riffing stuff, but I do find that I'm a bit more limited whenever I try to go into lead down here. So that's why for the last years I've been working on this kind of... so let's go back to... I'll turn down the gain a little bit and see if we can get a bluesier thing going. So why is it difficult? In the open position, pretty much any lick that you learn, which uses 3 notes per string, doesn't work the same. So that's the main issue. I have all these licks that work in the other positions, but it doesn't work in the open position. Of course, it's a good thing because it forces me to do different things, and also that's the reason why that open position sounds different, right? Because we have that open notes or open string sound. So I would say that's the main reason my usual licks don't work down here when you're playing in the open position. Tornado of Souls. That's the only part I know. Something like that, right? This morning I made the call. Yeah, I don't know. It's a very cool solo though. I played it in the past, but I don't know. How do I become fast like you? I bet it's like being on crack playing those keys. Yeah, well, it's fun. I mean, you don't, unless you really think it's fun, then you probably don't spend the years needed to learn it. But so the fast stuff is just a muscle memory thing, right? So it's just practice and being smart about practice. Don't push speed. Be relaxed. Don't just repeat for the sake of repeating. Hone in on the problem areas and then repeat and then try to put it together. And that kind of thing is the fastest way to gaining speeds. But it's still going to take you a long time, But then what do you do with the speed, And, I've been playing for almost 30 years and my perception of the what I would do with speed has changed a little bit throughout the years. Although I would say it's been consistent for the last decades probably, but so I think playing fast isn't fun if I only can do my 5 favorite licks. And I realized that pretty early on. So I realized that the techniques I want to focus on are the ones that are improvisation friendly. But I know that sounds a bit like I don't know, some cliche or hocus pocus. What it means is I want to be able to do variations of my licks so it doesn't sound the same all the time. Because there's a bunch of guitarists out there who are awesome, but you can really hear that their shredding relies on like 3 or 4 licks. And to me that, it's a shame because you still have to spend the years learning them. So you might as well do it in like an improvisation friendly way. So here's a shameless plug just because we're speaking about it. If you learn technique with my courses, that's totally what I'm focused on in these courses as well. And I think that's kind of the difference between lots of other things out there because a lot of people are just focused on the technique part, being as clean as possible, being as fast as possible, or, learning as fast as possible. And, that's all good. Nothing wrong with that. But for me, an equally important end goal is to be able to use these techniques when improvising. So everything you hear me play, except for when I, can grant the random song request because I don't know any songs, but everything else is just improvised. So it's all improvised. And that's the fun part. You're going to have bad and good days, obviously, but it's still, you can make use of your licks in a way that would be impossible otherwise because you can just know 2 licks and suddenly they've turned into 20 licks because you're throwing in variations everywhere. And you can do that on a daily basis. Of course, it's not going to sound as good as, the ones well, but it's much easier to just expand. And the more you practice them, the better you get at them. Cool, Nonya. 25 years, guitars and drums. That's cool. Bardia, thanks. So I hope that answers the question, Sliver. Okay, you gotta play some more. Al. It's not AI. I wish. It's a good thing being AI, right? I'm gonna slow down a little bit and see if I can squeeze in some more blues licks in between those rhythms. Thank you, Al, for digging my playing. So I think AI has some years left, I guess, before they can do guitar videos perfectly. I hope. So you guys are having some interesting discussions there. So basically, progress and whether you need to be patient and stuff like that. So yeah, getting good at anything takes a long time. There's no doubt about it. But if you perceive, that time as, being not fun, then you might have the wrong approach because you don't really progress. Or in my opinion, the ones that progress fast are not the ones, with natural talents and stuff like that. I've never believed in that. I found it's the ones that are smart about their practicing and focused on things they would love listening to. And sometimes you got to be smart about that because when you're starting out, everything is difficult, right? So you can't just choose your favorite band and expect to play it. But you can learn a section. You can choose the same chords. You can practice a similar chord progression. If it's a difficult solo, then you could try to find an exercise which is related to that and which you can somewhat play slowly. And all that is smart things, and what that does to you is you're gonna constantly want to get back to the guitar to get more. That doesn't really happen if you play the exercise your bro showed you, whatever. That might have worked for him or her, but it's probably not gonna work for you unless you have the identical taste of music, and you probably don't. So just a few words there. Needed like a finger break. You wanted to ask Uncle something? Well, go ahead, mate. So, Colin, are you asking about me? I don't know songs. I just forget about them. This is all improvised. So, I have remembered 0 songs, 0, and the ones I can play are just in my muscle memory. I don't remember the chords, I don't remember the sections, I might remember the lyrics, but it's not a conscious effort. All of this is just improvised. That's what I like doing. I know it's controversial, because when new people come in here, it's like, yeah, play my favorite song. I'm like, I'm so sorry, I can't do it. Oops. Let's do Wah Mayo. But we did that earlier in the stream with a clean tone. We can go back to that. That was pretty fun. So we did the whole wah-wah thing with the clean tone. I'll do the... Let's see if we can maybe add some fuzz to the mix as well. doesn't sound like Fuzz. I use a toned down version of. So glad you liked it, Mayo. Thanks, Old C. Sorry for butchering your name. I'll see if I can just set a bit better here. I'm trying to reach the wall pedal with my foot as well. Oh. Javril, make a song. Well, all these riffs could be used for a song. Sorry. So this isn't as forgiving, this sound, as the previous one, which is high gain. So now I really have to be a bit careful with everything, every little mistake. If you have a sensitive like tube sound, everything's going to be heard. That's cool because it can sound really good, but it's also really prone to letting your mistakes shine through. Solo. Can do it, make it a little bit easier maybe. So, as I said, I have a 5-way switch here. And one of the settings give me these two in, I think it's series, which is a bit of a humbucker sound. And that helps a little bit with the flow. Let's see here. Jimmy, so you think this has Hendrix vibes? Maybe the sound a little bit? Oh, so it is. Cool. It's probably the fuzz pedal that's doing this. The machine gun stuff. Cool. Thank you, Olsey, for digging my playing. So I'm using a silk tone fuzz pedal, and it has some very cool settings where you can kind of dial down the fuzz in a nice way, so it cleans up nicely. And then it's just a crybaby wah going into my Fender Blues Junior. So that's what it is. Javril, sleep tight. Let's switch to E major for fun. So best way to learn scales progression. There isn't a best way. It totally depends on kind of where you're at your theory journey. Sometimes it's not even appropriate to do yet. But for me, I probably do it in an awkward way, but it really helps for what I'm trying to do, which again is improvisation based, where I'm trying to kind of mix lead and chords all over the fretboard. And for that purpose, what I do is I kind of visualize the E major scale, or this is an example of what I just did. Yeah, my guitar takes a smoke when I sleep, of course. So what were you thinking? So, so when I play this kind of thing, I see the chords just as being notes of the scale. I don't think of them as chords. I think of them of my kind of random / improvised chords within the E major scale. So I can keep going for quite some time here, just playing chords that don't make that much sense when I just play them like that. But it gets interesting if, you know, you can do maybe... You know, when I can weave them together with the lead playing, you know, that's really what it's all about. So it's maybe not your ideal approach if you want to, learn from the real book, playing jazz or reading chord charts for songs, whatever. But it's awesome if you want to be able to move around the fretboard and just have fun with the guitar. Right now, my favorite guitar is this guitar, the Fujigen Iliad Standard. There's no split coil here because these are both single coils. From Berlin, wie geht's? Heute ist ein schöner Tag. Subscriber, welcome Griefcase. Everybody should give Griefcase a warm welcome. Very happy to have you here, man. Die Sonne scheint. So you had a decent spring day in Berlin as well? Olsey subscribed. Welcome, Olsey, to the club. Well, I like both Strats and Les Pauls, but right now I'm into like a Telecaster. I like Gary Moore, but I don't know anything of it. Yep, I prefer single coils as well for playing, but sometimes for recording I prefer humbuckers, especially when it's like a rock or metal thing. But it's much more fun to play because they respond in a nice way. Thanks for the support, man, and welcome. Oh, Olsey supporting as well. Thanks so much, man. So if I play the blues, I always prefer a single coil guitar. I guess a Strat, because that would kind of give me more like SRV and Hendrix vibes, probably. But I mean, this is also you know, any guitar is bluesy in a way, you know. So just don't dial in too much gain, and then play some bluesy licks with bluesy bends, and you're in bluesland. You must be a reptile with all those scales. Thanks, man. I don't know if I'm a reptile. Reptiles are kind of stupid, right? I hope I'm not. The note rope, man, you can do it. Don't be so negative. I mean, I personally think that the most useful stuff is not the the extreme, you know, that kind of thing. I think the best picking comes from you just playing, but being sure it's alternate picking. So I think this, you know, the. A bit slower, but with more attack and more better tone. You know, that's the one I end up using. You know, even though I spent a lot of time trying to learn. You know, and that might seem like it's far away, but who cares? You don't necessarily need to do it. Now show this. It should be filthy little YouTubers, remember? So very cool. We have Blinchy Bill from the good old days when I had this character called Mr. Guitar Tube, who did a few videos here and some appearances on the GMC forum. Yeah, I'm gonna show you stink little YouTubers. So Zach Wild. So that would be. Maybe just. I don't know. Maybe something like that. I don't know. It's been a while. So Malibu, I'm using 09 to 46 strings. Be sure to like this Goodsman stream. Thank you so much, the NoPro. You're too kind. Gets more eyes on his incredible. Thanks so much, man. So yeah, that's Zach Wild. If you wanna, you can check out my old videos. You're gonna find it covered. But this is a super classic Zach Wild lick. If we do it in E minor pentatonic, it's just 6 notes, and we're gonna repeat 15-12 twice on the high E string and then once on the B string. So you get. And of course, when you add the wah on that and you play really fast, it sounds like wild, I guess. And you can combine with just 4 notes, so doing 15, 12, 15, 12 on each string. I don't think I discussed that in the old video. So just this, right? Combined with, so you get, one more time, so 15, 12, twice on the E string and once on the B string, and then 15, 12 just on each of the strings. So if we combine both, of course, I guess he would do this. Oh, it's noisy as hell. I'm going back to my fuzzy sound. I think that's more fun. We have another crazy sound that I feel like showing you, and that's the choked fuzz sound, or the spitting fuzz, the low bias fuzz. That should be pretty easy to dial in. Just give me a second. Maybe it isn't today. Who knows? This is silly, right? But it's kind of fun. I like it. Does this just sound crazy? Does anybody like this? I love this, but I figured people think it's a synthesizer, so like, oh, that's a stupid guitar. Maybe we could... Let's try with the wah maybe. This is going to be tricky, I think, for the warm. I don't know. Well, there you have it. That's a crazy sound. I don't know any ZZ Top. Something like that, right? The pedal, no, the fuzz pedal is called Silk Tone Fuzz Plus. It's a kind of, I wouldn't say boutique, but high-end germanium fuzz. Gives you a lot of control over fuzz. Sometimes these, like the fuzz face pedal is really just cool, but it has its own life. So you don't know which side it's going to wake up on, whether you're going to be able to play it, and if it's cold or warm, it's going to change. But this is better. You can use it in a more predictable way. The board, the whole board, I can show you. Let's see. There's the board. And away went my head. So the pedal I'm using is can you see that yeah, it's this one, the Silk Tone. That's the fuzz pedal. I can just do this for you so you can see it. Well, my pedal board is a bit messy, but this is the Silk Tone Fuzz. I love it. It's a pretty new edition and just lots of fun tones to be had, and I've already started using them here in my shorts. They give me new ideas, basically. Play a Strat Light Zone from Sonic 1. What the heck is that? Sorry, I can't play that. What is the purpose of a wavy fretboard? Oh, fretboard. You mean the scalloped fretboard? Oh, so no. I think you were speaking both about pedal boards and fretboards. Can be a little bit confusing. So the wavy fretboard, those are called it's a scalloped fretboard, and the wood is removed because this way your fingertip doesn't touch the wood. It makes it much easier to get a good grip of the string. And even if you should hit the string poorly when doing hammer-ons, let's say you hit it with the side of the finger, and typically that would cause the big part of your finger or fingertip to hit the wood, and you wouldn't get a very nice tone out of that at all. But with Scalloped, since the wood is further away, even if you hit the string a little bit bad, you can still get a pretty good tone. For example, I'm playing fast legato, and you're hitting the string several times a second there. And not every hit is going to be perfect. Not every time you touch the string, you're going to do it with the center of your fingertip. So maybe you're going to do it further down, and again, that would cause the center part to kind of hit the wood of the fretboard. And when that happens, you won't get a strong connection with the string. In fact, you might get a muted or muffled notes. So it's very useful. It's the same as having super tall fret wire, but a lot of guitars don't come with that. I think a nicely scalloped guitar is going to give you even less resistance than like a jumbo fret guitar. I do have one guitar that has super tall fret wire that really doesn't need it, and that's my Parker guitar. But I haven't seen any other guitar with that kind of fret wire. I do take requests, but I'm crappy at songs. I just haven't played songs for 20 years. I'm not into the rock and roll band thing. I just like to play my guitar. So if you want to request like a specific mood or style or sound, it can be fun, but it's like, oh, play the Trooper. It's like, I haven't cared about that for a long time, so I hate to disappoint you. This is something people request all the time. I would rather have a vintage Strat, I think, than but I would love a fifth man gold top. So, who inspired me to play guitar? Thanks for the cool question there. It's me, Dariel. So, it's the usual suspects since I was a kid of the 90s. Nirvana, Kurt Cobain, loved him. Metallica, James Hetfield, Guns N' Roses, Slash. I think those were the big ones. And just the bands, you know, they were all playing guitar, so that's That was the thing, right? But it wasn't until much later that I discovered the shredders that I really sat down and started to practice. So that would be like Yngwie and all the, so many names that I've learned from all the shrapnel artists, Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, Alan Holsworth, Steve Morse, Blue Saraceno. The list is just too freaking long. I love the like Greg Howe and Tony McAlpine, those shrapnel artists. Yeah, I love SRV as well, but I can't play Texas Flood. Cool. So you have a Telecaster RM. Have fun and play it often. So how many days will it take to play as good as you? You're just a beginner. So thanks so much for the question, man. So first of all, the amount of days are, of course, impossible to calculate. But the factors that come in are, I would say, of course, how much you wanted to and how little you believe in the natural talent thing, because that doesn't exist. It's just how much you really devote yourself to it. And I don't mean practicing 10 hours per day, like many of us did. You can injure yourself, and it's not really that useful. It's smarter to play when you're inspired. It's smarter to, whenever you practice something, like strict practicing, that you focus on a weakness area of yours that does coincide with your like end goal, of course. But a lot of people just loop the stuff they know just to play faster, and it's ineffective, and it's not even the best way to play fast, and it really doesn't do you any good in terms of bringing everything forward, So smart practice, I would say, and devotion. Then, they say 10 years to get good at anything. I think that's valid for guitars as well. Guitar as well. Blazing, you're waiting for a solo, man. We can't disappoint you. I don't know if that qualifies as a solo. Just shred, I guess. It's shredding. I want to buy my first electric guitar. Which one should I buy? So the most important thing I would say for your first guitar is to buy one that inspires you in terms of looks, Does it look cool? The goal is just to not give up in the beginning. And I think the guitar needs to work. You can't buy something that goes out of tune immediately or something like that. You're never going to play it. So it needs to be somewhat stable. But most entry-level guitars are, if you don't buy anything from Amazon for $5 or something, if you go to a guitar store, even their entry-level guitars should hold the tuning. But don't buy one without like a floating bridge, But never mind. So buy one that looks cool to you. That would be my best advice. It's gonna be decent, and you can always upgrade the pickups and stuff like that. And yeah, that's what I would say. Blazing, you should comment on my solo. You requested it. It's not fair. You should say whether that qualified. Yeah, exactly, Gary. It's a matter of decades. And I mean, some of us sacrifice their youth for practicing all day long, me included. So I mean, that helps, but usually you don't practice in a very smart way when you do that. You can definitely grab some stuff from that, but yeah. I mean, the dream would, of course, be if I could go back to being youth with my current insights about what works and what doesn't in terms of practicing. That would be amazing. But we're not given that chance, are we? My name is Barbie. No, just kidding. Christopher Dahl is my name. What's the biggest barrier going from beginner to intermediate? Oof. So beginner to intermediate, I would say probably understanding how important timing is. At least for me, I got that way too late, you know. And it's not even difficult. I mean, if you, usually as a beginner, you want to learn some songs, right? So if you can play any song with the actual original, so, you know, Spotify, or if you're very old and you have a CD player. But anyhow, you know, if you can play with the original and be in tune and in time, you're no longer a beginner, you're intermediate, I would say. And that's the best way to practice as well. If you jam along with great recorded music that you love listening to, boy, I cannot tell you how much you're going to get for free just by doing that. You're going to get timing, you're going to get sense of melody, you're going to get like micro timing, staying in the pocket. You're gonna get sense of harmony. You're probably gonna end up playing a whole bunch of scales and learning scales. So that's the best thing you can do. If I had known that, and that's the most fun thing you can do as well. I did a little bit of that, but I thought that wasn't. I was kind of stupid. I realized back then because I thought that, well, this is so much fun. It can't really be, you know, because you have to suffer to get good. That's what I thought. So I wanted to torture myself with these exercises. And then when I was exhausted, it's like, okay, now I can do the fun stuff. And that's when I started learning, you know, when I started playing to those real songs or real albums. So that would be my best advice to you, I think. Can I play some SRV? Well, I like this. That kind of lick, right? But otherwise, like, I don't know. I'm crap with that. Yes, Lucas, glad you agree. How much did you memorize when you first started playing? I think what you're referring to is like scales, probably. And how do you memorize scales so you can play them all over the fretboard? You don't memorize scales. That's a notion. It's a myth. If you need to try to memorize a scale, you certainly haven't been practicing that scale. So if memorizing a scale is the problem, or feels like the problem, then the real problem is the fact that you didn't practice it. So what you got to do with a scale is practice licks, patterns, and phrases over and over and over to the point that you're going to have those scale shapes in your muscle memory. So while it might seem that when I do this, you know, it might seem that, oh yeah, I'm memorizing all these dots and now I'm playing them for you. But that's not the way it is. It's a pattern that I played a million times. or actually a bunch of patterns because I improvise when I do that. And I practice them in each position a million times, and I practice going between those positions a million times. So it's no longer a matter of memorizing dots. It's a matter of when I'm doing this, I'm not thinking about memorizing. I'm way past that stage. I'm worried about, am I gonna play in sync, and will I have the right tone? And if you need to focus on memorizing, you're not really at the stage where you can play the thing. You should just practice it with different licks and patterns. I don't know if that makes sense. Let me know if it did. I can't play Eye of the Tiger, but I can do Ice, baby, ice. Something. I don't know. All right. Is that even right? I don't know. Let's change beats. I'm sick and tired of this one now. What do we get if we choose Latin? Here, how you doing? Long time no see. You used to be with me in my lives, I believe, several years ago on the GMC Guitar or GMC Axe channel. Isn't that right? That's back in the days I didn't even have a mustache, at least not a real one. Hey there, Lisa, what's up? So we've been going for more than 2 hours. That's crazy. So I want to thank you so much for tuning in. It's been really fun, and I think the new setup is working. So now I need to figure out how I can somehow keep the setup so I can do it more often. We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully I found a solution. But I want to thank you for tuning in. You've been fantastic, and I've been Chris Vidal. See you soon again. Cheers.